All right, let's get started. So this is going to be step by step how to close more remodeling jobs. It's probably going to be the single most valuable video that we do produce because it's just a total summary of all the other content and just taking the best pieces along the way. So we really want to do like step by step. You can just follow this to a T blindly, and whether you're applying some of these things already, there's going to be something that you can hopefully take away to immediately make more money by increasing your closing rate, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to kind of explain why you're qualified to talk about this.
Yeah, thanks. So I've been in a business for a long time. Been in sales longer than I've been in home improvement, but been in home improvement for a very long time. Um, Over $15 million in personal sales and remodeling jobs, construction. Um, Founded my own company, trained a lot of people. We, did over $12 million in the 3 years that I was training sales crews to go out there and meet with homeowners, just like the contractors that we deal with every day. So I know it from the front end and the back end. So I'm a great resource for this type of thing.
Yeah. And it starts with the warm up,
Yeah.
right? So I want the way I want this masterclass to be is like step by step, like not leaving any stone unturned, like everything that needs to be done from the first interaction to, closing the deal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So the thing about the warm up that is so critical, and I talk to guys all the time, and I ask about their sales process, and I'm like, you just walk me through, and it's like, oh yeah, I just kind of go in there and I chit chat for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, well, the warm up is more than just chit chat. Like this helps you win a sale. You have to. It sets the tone, right? You want to build trust instantly. And then you want to qualify the client. And be very clear. I don't mean asking them what their budget is. That's not the qualifications we're looking for. We haven't got there yet. We're looking to see what the needs are. We want to see what do they have going on, and then that's how we position ourselves to show the expertise. Right, the client, they tells you what's going on. You see the needs, then you show your expertise, and through that you create comfort. You encourage them to open up that dialogue with the warm up. That's how you set expectations for the meeting. You have to set the agenda, right? You have to have a certain level of control when you're in a home. It's not a power struggle, but it should feel like a nice, simple conversation. The homeowners shouldn't feel like you're controlling them, but it should just flow. So that's why
Yeah.
the warm up is so
I think
important.
like outlining the meeting agenda, I mean, different sales philosophies or teachings that they say it differently. I've always heard of it as setting the frame of
Yeah,
the conversation. Like
yeah.
you don't want to be like power hungry in control of everything, but you do want to be, I mean, you do want to be in control, but not in a way where it's controlling, if that makes sense.
No, it
Right?
makes
Like there has to be a
that's
reason why you're
yes,
there, and that homeowner has to understand what the process is going to be.
absolutely. That is exactly it. Like you want to have control without being controlling. We don't want to push anybody around, but we do want to be able to take control of the situation and frame it the right way. So that warm up is very key to helping you win deals because people buy from people they like. And the moment they answer that door, you need to be warming them up. You don't want to start warming them up when it's time to talk money. It has to start immediately.
And I want to like do a hypothetical. Like, so let's just actually put it into practice, right? I'm gonna be Nick. I'm gonna be here living in Florida. I have like a 2 or 3 bedroom house. I clicked on an ad online. I wanted somebody to come over to renovate my kitchen. There's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's outdated. So that's kind of the whole, scenario here. You want to just play it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So you're gonna knock on the door, right? Cool.
Knock, knock,
Open up the
knock.
door.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Willie with Quote Magnet. I'm looking for Nick. Is that you?
Yeah. Hey, absolutely. Yeah. I think you're right on time.
Perfect, perfect. Now I got shoe covers. Is this a shoes on house? Do I need to cover my shoes? How do we gonna do this?
Oh, yeah. You can leave your shoes at the door. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I'll take my shoes off and we'll get in there. Hey, I did know landscaping is fantastic. You do that yourself? You cut the grass or you got a guy?
Oh, no, no, no. I mean, we did cut the grass like a week ago, but I mean, it's just a pet peeve I have, of like having grass that's like overgrown or whatever.
Well, I appreciate that. It looks real good. I know that some homeowners will let it go, and they'll let it go, and that makes your house look worse. So I appreciate you taking care of yours. It looks real good. So is there a place we can sit down? I just wanted to go over a couple things with you before we start.
Okay, sure. I mean, I did want to check out the kitchen. That's obviously what I was calling about, right? To see what you guys could do there. But if you want to sit down, I guess we could sit in the living room.
Yeah. I mean, got a lot of stuff in my hands. Want to just set them down and just want to ask you a couple questions so I, know how to better serve you.
Okay, sure.
Perfect. All right. So yeah, no, this is man, smells good in here. Who's cooking?
I mean, yeah, we do. I did invite, I have some people coming over later. So,
Oh man.
you know,
All right. Well, even more reason for me to get in and get out. I appreciate that you guys are hosting, so I won't take all your time. So just before we start, I just wanted to let you know, hey, I know you hear about the kitchen, and so just tell me a little bit about it before we start.
well, yeah, I mean, we bought the house like 5 years ago, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with the kitchen. It just feels like it's kind of a little bit outdated. Uh, it's kind of bland. It's just very white. We think we kind of want to add some color. Make things a little bit more modern and nice. Uh, so we don't really know exactly what we want to be done yet, but we just want to make it a little bit more modern, right? Freshen things up. Uh, the main thing right now is just kind of bland. I wish that, if there was a little bit more space, maybe if we had like a center, I've seen a lot of pictures of like having a centerpiece, like a countertop in the middle where we could like an island, I think they call it.
Yeah.
So maybe if you want to move, like we don't know if we want to change the layout or not, but we just want to kind of freshen things up. It's kind of outdated right now.
Okay. Perfect. That helps. All right. So I just, just we'll go in the kitchen and we'll see it obviously and dive into it a little bit more. But just before we start, I just want to, kind of let you know more about myself and how everything will go today. So again, I've been in the business for over 12 years and I have a lot of experience doing homes and creating, things just like this. So design is kind of my forte. So I'm really passionate about it. So we'll go through, I'll take some pictures of the things in the kitchen, take some measurements, and go over a couple of, ideas that you had in your head. And after that, we'll come back, we'll build it out, and then I'll give you the price, and the price is good for about a year. I do have some discounts that I can utilize, so please remind me if I forget. And yeah, if you have any questions between now and then, please stop me because I want to be able to answer them before we get to the end of this. How's that sound?
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right, well, I think we'll pause right there in the process because
Yeah.
you did a lot of what we're about to talk about all at once. Um,
Yes.
but the first thing you did, which I noticed, is like you set the tone of the conversation. Like this is what's going to happen. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but like this is what we're here for. Obviously, it's the kitchen. And then
Absolutely.
you also were telling a little bit about yourself and the company story, right? And
Yep.
then the needs assessment. Like before talking about yourself, you asked me like how you could serve me.
Yep.
So is
Main
this like
thing.
what you mean by the needs assessment is identifying like what they need done, not
So
just materially,
just
but like why?
during the warm up, you want to have a small needs assessment. Now, the needs assessment, we'll jump into that here in a second. But I need to understand, what your motivations are, right? Like, obviously, you just told me you needed a kitchen or you wanted a kitchen. It's bland, it's white. You wanted to make it a little bit more modern, right? That's helpful for me to lay out how everything's going to go. Then we go into the kitchen. And that's when you want to really dive into the needs assessment. Like, what are the motivations that the homeowner's having? I already know that Nick, the homeowner, just is tired of his kitchen. There's nothing wrong with it, he said. He just doesn't think it looks good enough for his house and he wants it to be better. So then when we go into our needs assessment in the actual kitchen, we'll jump into a little bit more, see some things, and use that to create a urgency. Again, we don't want to fearmonger anyone, but you do want to create urgency for because otherwise they'll just say, "Oh, I already told them the price is good for almost a year." Right? That's just to get their guards down. The price is
Yeah, a
good
lot of
for
guys are listening to that and they're like, "Well, you can't. The price is not good for a year because the material is always going to change."
of
But that's not the
course.
point. Like we're not trying
Thank
to.
you.
You're creating urgency, but you're not. First, you gotta diffuse, right? They're
We
gonna be a
have
little bit
to.
tense because you're a stranger in their house.
You're a stranger. You're a salesperson. We have a bad reputation as a whole. We have to put their guards down. Hey, look, price good for a year. Relax. You know, oh, okay. I'm still going to ask for the sale later. They don't know that, but if you can't, you just come in guns blazing. They're already going to be like tight and tense. So we want to just get the guards down. So that's why I always want to let them know that hey, the price is good for a year. So just relax. Um, so yeah, now you go into the needs assessment, right? So to style this, right? We're in the kitchen. Now, you know, we've gone from your living room to your kitchen. Okay, I see what's going on. Oh, yeah. It is white in here, Nick. It's very white. All right. I get what you're saying, you know. So, you know, I heard you when we were in the we were in the living room, you told me you just wanted a little bit more modern. So when you're saying modern, what are you thinking of as far as modern? What does modern look like to you?
Oh well, it definitely. I think like the countertops, we want like granite countertops. I think that would bring a lot of color. Like the
Okay.
sink and the faucet, like I don't the handles on the cabinets, like they kind of look outdated.
Okay.
So maybe like adding some color there, making them look cleaner. Like maybe it's stainless steel, maybe it's copper. I don't know. Again, we haven't really thought about the style, but we just kind of want to modernize like the sink. You know, maybe a bigger sink as well because it's kind of crammed and there's not much space, you know, to put the dishes in there.
Okay.
So like yeah, granite countertops, a bigger sink ideally, and yeah, the cabinets as well. I mean, this house was built in the 70s, so they're kind of old. So maybe again, just making them look like it was made in the last 2 to 5 years.
I got you.
That's kind of
I
the whole
got
goal.
you. All right. So uh I'll take some measurements. You hold this end of the tape measure for me.
Mhm.
You, Nick.
I got it.
I want to get you involved, right? This is also key. You want to get your homeowners involved. They'll just stand there and watch you do all the work. That's not engaging. We want to get them involved. So you hold this, I'll measure the countertops. Okay, we have this many cabinet opens. Perfect. I get all of that. So I got all of my, got all my photos, got all my measurements. I got that. So you told me a little bit about what you liked. Anything that you like absolutely love? Like, do you have any colors, design ideas, Pinterest, whatever, dream board, anything that you know that you just must have?
I feel like the countertops are the biggest thing for us.
Okay,
Adding that splash of color
got you.
and a larger sink. We just want the kitchen to feel a little bit more spacious right now because it feels a little bit cramped and old and like I said, old.
Got you.
Um,
I got you. So countertop, we want to change that. I did notice during my inspection that the sink had a small leak. Have you noticed that?
I mean, yeah, sometimes when you turn it off, it doesn't turn off all the way.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not necessarily working the best.
I got you. So I noticed that. So the only reason I'm telling you because all right, there's a leak, and obviously these things don't get better on their own. So just to keep in mind, what'll happen if that leak continues, right? It starts to break things down. It gets eventually to your floor, subfloor. It can be a whole thing, right? So all I want to, I see that here. I'm glad you noticed it. That's something that you want to take care of, whether you work with me or not, right? Like just make sure that you get that taken care of. All right. Now, anything that we should stay away from. What does Nick absolutely not want in his kitchen?
Are you asking like what do we want to keep the same? Like anything you don't want to
No, no,
touch?
like what do you like? So as far as the design, right? You already told me what you like.
Mhm.
Is there something I'm just thinking about the design in my head right now? Is there any colors that you don't like? Hey, stay away from like super like off the colors like reds or blue, like anything that
Yeah,
you
I don't nothing tacky like a red or a yellow or I want it to look, it wants to look clean. I don't
I
even mind
got
the
you.
white cabinets. It just has to make sense with like it can't all be white. Like the white countertops we have now with the white sink and it's just kind of bland.
I got
The
you. I
wall's
got you.
white. Maybe we got to paint the wall. I don't know. Maybe a splash like a light blue could be nice.
Okay.
Uh,
So we stay away from the reds and the blues, but light blues could work.
Light blue, yeah, a light blue. I've seen a couple pictures of like light blue cabinets with like gold handles and they look.
Okay.
I'm not an interior designer, but I've seen
I
some
got you.
like that could be something that we want to look at.
That works. That works. Perfect. Now, How long you been thinking about getting this done, Nick?
Oh, we like I said, we bought this house 5 years ago. It's always kind of been in the back of our mind.
Okay. So you bought it knowing that it was something that you wanted to work on.
Mhm.
All right. And, you have a timeline for the project?
Oh, we definitely wanted to get done this year. Anywhere. It's on the bucket list for sure.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So this is great. We have a lot of good things to work with here. And, you know, I know what you're looking for. I know we're good with white if the countertops change, but overall, we want to make it feel brighter in here. I know you said it feels a little bit cramped, so we definitely want to work on that. And yeah, we got a small leak in the sink, but no worries. We'll have that taken care of, whether you work with me or not, right?
Yeah, we do need to fix the leak.
Okay. So I need, yeah, that's so when I ask that question, I'm definitely looking for like just that type of buy-in. But perfect. So we got everything we need as far as style timeline, and you know, we'll put some really good stuff together. How's that sound?
Okay, yeah, sure. Uh, yeah, I guess what do you what happens next?
Yeah, so go to the next slide.
Yeah, next slide,
So
right?
yeah, go to the next slide. So right now, we just done our needs assessment. I know right now that Nick is tired of this kitchen. He bought the house knowing the kitchen needed work. We've got some ideas. He wants granite countertops. He talked about cabinets that he liked, but made very clear to me that he's not a designer, right? He has ideas, but he's not like I'm hard pressed on this. He just knows what he doesn't like, right? He doesn't want to keep the cabinets and the countertops all white. Light blue, possibly with gold handles, is something that could work. But again, I know what he's kind of looking for. So you have to, if you see me going like this while you're talking, Nick, I'm simulating writing stuff down because this is what you should be doing in the house. You should be having everything written down to help you to recall these things. So that is the main thing you want to do here is to make sure that when you're talking to these homeowners, show them that you're writing stuff down. They have to see you working, right? They have to see you working. Otherwise, they don't know that you're a great listener and that you can recall everything. Even if you do, write it down.
Yeah, I hate going to restaurants and then the waitress doesn't even write down my meal or item. And then they come
Yeah,
back and they ask me like, "Hey, because they forgot something." Like I hate
yeah,
that.
right. So like it just write it down. You don't miss anything if you write it down. So that is why I'm simulating writing it down because normally I would have my notepad. I would be writing all this stuff down. That's what we
And
should be doing in the
I'll tell
house.
you like how I felt when you were talking to me when you had that moment where you're like, "Well, this leak in the kitchen, you're gonna get that fixed regardless, right?"
Yeah.
And I'm
So
like, "Yeah." Like that itself is like a spark of urgency right there.
it's a
Like this
spark
needs to
of
be fixed.
urgency without fear mongering. And the reason I say whether you do it with me or not is to let the homeowner know that I'm genuinely concerned about their project, not my needs, not my wants. I noticed this. If you don't take care of this, this is what could happen. This is what's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. So just tell me, just promise me that you'll take care of it, right? I care about what your project looks like. I care about what your house looks like. I could just say, you got a leak and leave it at that. Like,
Yeah.
identify a problem, tell them what happens if you don't fix the problem, and just have them assure you. Again, this is about engagement. Just tell me that you'll take care of this, whether you work with me or not. Don't even care if I'm the one that does it. Just make sure you take care of it, right? So that's why we do things like that. So we just went through our whole needs assessment. So now we want to tell our story. The company's story is where you talk about yourself. I don't want you talking about how many kids you got, what sports teams you like. None of that matters to the homeowner when they first meet you. They don't care. And I know people think like, oh yeah, I see you have a dog. I have a dog too. Like, who are you still? I don't even know you. So that's not the time to talk about yourself. This is the time to talk about yourself in a way that matters. You're building the trust because before they buy any products, they have to buy you. They have to buy your company. That's why we have to have a company story, right? So we're gonna play this out, and I'll show you how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
So we back to the table or in the living room, and I say, so I appreciate all the information you gave me in the kitchen, Nick. This is all great. This is going to help me build out your project perfectly. I do have a question though. Have you ever had work done before?
Oh yeah, I mean we got the bathroom done last year.
Okay, bathroom done last year. How'd that go?
I mean, we were happy with it. It got delayed though. Like the contractor told us that it would take only a week, but 2 weeks after we actually signed, they this actually happened to my mother. Like I'm gonna tell you a story that actually happened. Yeah, yeah, because this happened to my mother to her house. Yeah, like
Okay,
we had this bathroom done in our home, but uh, they told us that it would take like maximum 1 to 2 weeks to get done. But what ended up happening was they tore out the bathroom, and then we didn't hear from them for like a couple days, and we weren't sure what was going on. But it turns out that they were waiting on some sort of like, I don't even know if it was a permit or whatever it was.
wow,
But it was kind of it was hard living in the home was a mess, to be honest. Like the dogs were stressed out, and uh yeah, I mean, the project ended up getting done on time, but it was just way. Uh, it took way too long, and we were pretty unhappy about that. So we're kind of worried now about who we go with. We want to make sure they have good reviews. I think the other company we didn't really, you know, they didn't really have much online, and uh, it just sounded like they wanted to get the sale, unfortunately, but it just took really long for them to actually complete. I don't know, I remember the guy who came to us sounded just like you. Like he was really impressionable. He was really, you know, he was fun to talk to, but then we never really heard from him again after the first appointment. So
gotcha. I got you. I appreciate you sharing that with me. And unfortunately, that is not a unique story, right? In our business, it is normal to have those type of things. Um, you know, have contractors do stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's why we, as a whole, home improvement is the second most complained about industry on the Better Business Bureau. Right? It's used car salesman and it's home improvement. So I definitely understand. I think we all have kind of a war story like that. But that brings me to to tell you a little bit more about my company and everything. So again, like I said, I'm with Quote Magnet, and here is where you will be showing, hey, we've been in business since insert year. This is where you show photos, and we specialize in kitchens, bathrooms, basements, and I'm showing the homeowner on my computer, my iPad, whatever you take in the home, I'm showing you pictures of jobs. Okay. So, and so we specialize in those type of things. Our team goes through weekly trainings to make sure that we're up to date on the latest things in the industry, and we're on par with everything that needs to be done. Every person that comes into your house is going to be licensed and bonded. We carry an insurance policy that you have no liability if something goes wrong on the job site. If one of my guys come in here and slips on your floor and it hurts themselves, you won't be liable because showing the insurance policy, we're covered. We pay a lot of money for our insurance policies to make sure that if anything happens on your job, you won't be liable. Okay. So then if you really want to get into it, you can say, hey, we do charity, we build, we do, we might do one Habitat for Humanity home a year, whatever you're going to go into, right? We're showing photos, we're showing the reason we're telling our company's story is to build trust. So here's our work. You can see some real photos from real jobs. We carry the right insurance. Everybody that comes in your house is going to be licensed and bonded, so you don't have to worry about that. We're good to go here. So this is the main thing. It's kind of hard to like fashion this without having to stop and talk about it, but we definitely want to we want to acknowledge the horror stories that customers get, because if anybody's dealt with a contract, they probably heard one or they've been through one, right? So you go through the company story and you want to have a verbal tie down, a buy in. So I go through all of this, Nick. I just showed you. Sounds like the type of company you like to work for, huh? Want to work with, right? Sounds like a company you can do business with.
yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Perfect. Good transition. You can go to the next slide. So
Yeah,
you want to
and
get
I
that
think I do want to add something,
sure.
Doug, which was really, and I mentioned though, and this was like again a real story that happened about our bathroom getting torn out, and then it was stuck like that for 2 to 3 weeks because the contractor was unorganized and they were waiting on permits, even though they promised that it would be done earlier than that. And it
Yep.
was, there was just dust on the floor and it was just a mess. Uh,
If
and then there was
yep,
also another thing, right, that I had a complaint about with the previous contractor about, the person that came to sell me the job. I never heard from them again.
never heard. So
So
you
you want to
can,
acknowledge that, like, I'm sorry that, like, we hear about that all the time.
yeah, that's the first thing I said was like,
And like
thank you for
what? So
sharing.
if and then if your company, if you actually are the one that shows up on the job, then that is definitely something that you want to sell on. If
Absolutely.
you are not, you have a dedicated project manager, then you want to be like fully transparent and say like you're gonna like I'm not just here to speak well to you and then you're never gonna hear from me again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a dedicated specialist to your company. You will also have me. I'm not gonna let you leave you hanging. You'll have my personal number. You can call me anytime. Like you just want to emphasize the things that what went wrong and then acknowledge that and then
Yep.
loop back around and say what makes you better.
Yep. If you have a project manager, this is the time during your company story. You should probably have a slide with a picture of them. Like, hey, Willie's going to be your project manager. So when this job gets going, you always, well, I said myself, but you always have me. You can call me. He'll be here on the day the job happens until the job is complete. Right? There's levels of accountability, and that's what the company story is meant to do. Is to build the trust in a way that most guys don't. They usually come in. They don't really tell people how long they've been in business, what their specialties are. If you won any awards, that's the best time to tell a homeowner that too. Um, Anything that helps build that trust. You get that, because again, you got a real life horror story. What if you didn't? What if the last person you had do work was great? You have to be able to pivot from that as well. You have to say, okay, great. What made them great? And then you tell me all the things that made them great. And then you ask a simple question. Well, okay, why aren't they here now? I mean, I don't really want to talk about anybody else, but if they were great, it's like, oh, well, the guy retired. Well, there you go. Boom. He just,
Okay.
he
Right, and you
retired.
did something subconsciously, which is you use a curiosity tonality.
Absolutely.
So, like, if you want to, okay, well, interesting. I mean, I guess if they did such a good job for you before, I'm
Why
just
aren't they
curious. I
here
guess like,
now?
why don't you give them a call
Yeah.
back for this job too?
Yep. I
And
mean, you
they're not
got to,
going to be argumentative about that because you're again the
oh,
tonality there. Versus be
yeah.
like, okay, well, they did a good job before. Why aren't you calling them? What?
Yeah. Like,
And,
shut everything
and
down. Why
some
am
and
I
some
here?
guys are now already in the back of their mind like, oh, am I just the second bid? And they already are going to go with this person, and they're just trying to check the
Exactly.
numbers. Like they could get into that loop.
Your mind has to be on discovery. When you're in a house, discovery is the main thing. We need to understand what makes them tick. And it has to come through as inquisitive, not challenging.
Right.
So the tonality matters. All right.
Okay.
So
Now,
now, yep, go ahead.
no, I mean, I'll give this to you, but I think almost every time I ask you, hey, were they price conditioning? You say no. So this is like probably the biggest miss.
Yeah, there. So this is, I think, I not even I think I know this is where a lot of guys lose deals because we more times than not, if you're not price conditioning, the homeowner is going to have sticker shock, right? If you're only giving them the price when you're laying down the price and they have no heavenly idea on how much this project is going to cost, even if you told them $5,000, they would say no because that's a lot of money. Obviously, we know it's not a lot of money in what we do, but if they have no idea of what something costs, you're going to lose because everything else in our business, or not in our business, but in the world, I can Google, I can find out how much it costs. I go to buy a Mercedes Benz, the stickers on the window for like 95% of the cars. I know what it costs. I can Google and find the price. You can't do it in our business because everything we do is so custom. So we need to start price conditioning homeowners. This is how you talk numbers without asking, what's your budget? What's your budget is a freshman level question. How do they know a budget if they don't have any idea of what something is going to cost? So this is about push pull. This is a time where we're going to be pulling from them by telling them the cost versus value report exists. They don't have any idea it exists. It is going to be your best friend. It's how you introduce a general price so it doesn't surprise them later, because we've all been there, guys and girls. How many times have we gave a homeowner a price and they looked at you and said, "What? How could it cost so much?" And you're like, "Well, that's just what it costs." We want to do better at that. We want to have them understand that
Oh,
it's
and
not.
absolutely, like, heaven forbid, like you're doing that in an email, sending a $55,000 proposal through the email, and they have no idea what's going to cost. They're
You're
gonna,
gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
you're gonna lose.
I don't even. You'll win some if you put out enough estimates, right? If you want to play that light number game, great. You can play that number game and you can win some just because you know that's how they work it, right? But we have to start conditioning people. We have to. It has become part of our everyday when we're in the home, right? So
So do you
this
want to
is how we
demonstrate what it would be hypothetically for this kitchen that
absolutely,
we've been
absolutely.
mocking?
So I've already done a needs assessment. We did everything. My transition is gonna say, so Nick, I know you're wondering how much something like this costs, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah, I
get it.
mean that's probably why you're here, right? I kind of want to get some numbers.
Yeah, yeah, I get it, man. Everybody wants the price and they want me to get out. I totally get it. So look, the short answer of this is I don't know. Um, and that's because everybody has different prices, different materials. There's a lot of things and varying factors into the price. Have you ever heard of Kelly Blue Book?
Yeah, I think I heard of them. They're like with cars, right?
Yeah, yeah. So Kelly Blue Book, if you want to buy a Nissan Maxima today, you can see what the Nissan Maxima costs in your area in Florida, right?
Yeah, it gives me
So
a range or something on like
yeah,
a cheap car or like a value car or like it's overpriced. Yeah.
yeah, that type of thing. So in our business, Remodeling Magazine, which has now branded to Journal of Light Construction, every year produces what they call the cost versus value report. It is essentially like Kelly Blue Book, except for home remodeling. Here you can find what the average cost is in your area for whatever project you're working on in your home. All right. So for your case, in the kitchen in your area, or we're doing a kitchen, so we're going to do a kitchen remodel, a major kitchen remodel because this is a big kitchen we're in. The average price for that kitchen remodel is going to be around $82,000. All right, and that's just an average.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
But that's the thing. There's a lot of powertrain, if you will, in your kitchen. A lot of plumbing, a lot of electrical. So it's a lot of that that goes into that price.
Oh
But
wow, I thought it
again,
was gonna be like 30,000. Wow, that's a lot.
yeah, well, see, that's just an average, and that price can go up or down, on a couple of factors, right? And those factors I like to call QWS. All right, quality, warranty, service. Again, on average, we're talking around 80. That's for it's a pretty
And
big.
by the way, are you actually looking this up right now?
Yeah,
Do you want to share your screen and actually show what you're doing?
yeah. Hold
I think
on.
that would be very valuable because you're doing this live inside the home, right? The
Yep.
cost per live report
Yeah, I'm actually doing it for Ohio, but here, let me put it
for Ohio. Do
on.
you want to pull it up? I want because people want to know probably where to find that cost per live report.
Absolutely. So let's see. Yeah, so I will hold on, give me a second. This got a what do you call it? An ad. Yeah, there we go. So we're doing South Atlantic.
Is that? I mean, to be honest, I didn't know it was going to be 82,000. And look, I thought you were going to say like 50.
Nah, and look, this is a major kitchen remodel mid-range. On average in your area in Florida is actually 81,000. But
Mm.
the national average is 82 for a major kitchen. This is a big kitchen, right? Like a showpiece kitchen. Um, so you say you want me to share my screen right now?
Yeah, show the cost per live report.
Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So right here, major kitchen remodel, mid-range is $81,000 on average. The number in black is the national average. So it's a little bit lower. But then if you really wanted to jump into it with the homeowner and explain to them what a major kitchen is, right? Like what makes my kitchen major? It's an It's 200 square foot or more with functional layout of linear feet, 30 linear feet of cabinets, wood. I mean, it breaks down an island, all these type of things. And this is what we're going to use as our guide, right? Finished with painted walls. It's literally the entire kitchen. Changing the microwave, changing the dishwasher, changing the what do you call it?
Yeah, like a complete demo, like
Yeah,
total rehab.
yeah. You know, we're completely doing everything.
Okay.
Refrigerator, everything, right? So that's what we're doing. Now, okay, if we didn't want to do you know, the full kitchen, you know, I mean, obviously if it's an upscale, we can go here and it's gonna be one sit. But again, it gives you a talking point with something that's tangible. You don't want to just say, it's gonna be on like this is an official document. So for me, I can use that to say, okay, hey, it's around, and then I go into why. So obviously, if
Yeah,
it's
you
on
started
app,
explaining like the powertrain analogy because I'm like, wow, I thought it was gonna be 30.
right? Because people don't. There's a lot of plumbing in your kitchen.
Mm.
You got a sink, that's water. You got a dishwasher, that's water. If you got a refrigerator that has an ice maker, or you know what, that's water. That's a lot of plumbing, a lot of electricity. There's a lot of things that people don't think about that you have to make sure it's right, especially if you want to do it right. So that's when I would explain to QWS, hey, 80 that 81 number is just the average. Now it can go up or down based on a couple of factors. That's the quality, the warranty, the service. If you pick the best type of quality, high-end products, great company, obviously that 80 could be a little bit higher, right? And if you doing high-end things, they come with high-end warranties. So they go hand in hand. And warranties and service are they're in holy matrimony. If you got a great warranty, the service comes with it. Now, if you choose Chuck in the truck, price goes down. He gets whatever he can get. You know, he might get a second hand. The warranty might be expired by the time they put it in your house. Service is only good if you can like get their phone number, which is probably going to be a Google number or it'll be out of service when you call it. So the number can go down, right? My goal for you in your bathroom or your kitchen, excuse me, is to get you the best on the high end of that, but to keep you around that average price around 80, 79, $80,000, right?
Okay.
I don't even let you talk at that point. When I finish that, I say, let's talk materials. No tie downs in price conditioning because their mind is blown. It's going to always be blown.
Yeah, they're gonna be sitting there quietly, like processing all that information.
They have to. And if you leave it, say, that was more than you thought, right? That's not the time. Let them process it on their own. You know, you can leave that screen up so they can look at the cost versus value report because they can digest it.
Mhm.
So then we talk materials and we can go to the next slide.
The product demo.
This is where we demo the solution. Nobody cares how great your material is. I swear to God, they don't. Like they want to know how it's going to make their problem go away. If it's the highest end thing, if it's the lowest end thing, you have to position it or frame it so I'm solving a problem. So when I come in and I do my product demo, I'm coming in here. I have granite samples. We can talk colors. We can talk, hey, I know you said, Nick, that you wanted a bigger sink. So, we can cut out a little bit of this counter space and you have to be good with losing some counter space, right? But I will explain all of that to you. We can get a big farmhouse sink. We go through colors, right? And then this is where you are reinforcing the value of what you're doing. You've already told me you didn't want a white kitchen anymore. I have to talk about why we're going to go with these brighter colors or let I'm going to always use my professional opinion. If you're going to design something, if a homeowner gives you some leeway to design, you always have to say, in my professional opinion, just to let them know you're not forcing anything on them. Hey, we can do these nice, gray cabinets. We could do them in shake and, explain what shake is. Because the homeowner probably won't know. So you explain what type of style that you're going to be doing for the cabinets. And then, hey, we can do a little, so that's going to be a little bit light. I'm all about contrast. So I'll go light, dark, you know, light. So on the countertops, we'll still do grays, have a little bit more black in there. It's granite, so it's natural. And we won't go crazy on the pattern, right? We won't do a Z pattern. So explain to them about granite, right? Granite literally goes from A to Z on movement. Z is the craziest granite you'll ever see. You can educate them a little bit more in this scenario. So we're not gonna do an A pattern, but we might get to about H. We'll get some personality in there, and then we want to go light on floors, and then we'll do stainless steel on everything else. You just go into it, and we're gonna fix. We're gonna fix that sink. We're gonna get that leak figured out. Then you want to use visuals, right? I don't know if anybody. Some guys use 3D software, some guys don't. You can just show jobs that you've done. Like, hey, I did a job in a kitchen very similar to yours. We did it something like this. Then I'll just say, hey, Nick, how do you like this? Like, I just designed something. How do you like it?
Yeah, I like it just like that one.
Yeah, it's like you just ask. So this is the time where you really want to ask questions. This is the time that when you put it together, you want to be able to show the homeowner how it's going to be durable, how it's going to add value to their space, and it can help you build trust, right? So you want to build it, so well so you want to gain a commitment, right? So once you build everything out, you want to say, oh, okay, perfect. So this, how do you, so we build it out. Say, how's that look, Nick?
I like it.
All right. So yeah, I think we did a pretty good job together. I mean, you more of a designer than you thought you were, but yeah, I like what we came up with. Now imagine holidays coming up, you got your family coming. They're gonna walk into your house now. And last time they seen your kitchen, they knew what it looked like. It was white. Now imagine they walked into you from the living room like I did, and they open up and they see this. What are they gonna say? What are their faces gonna look like, Nick? Like,
I mean, they're gonna be like excited,
this is
running around,
exactly.
like opening up pulling the cabinets open.
Yes, soft closed drawers, soft closed doors. They're gonna be like, oh man, they're gonna think you Daddy Warbucks. So, perfect. So then we demoed everything. We tell now in a demo, you can get a lot more in the weeds. You can tell them, hey, we're gonna tear everything out. You can literally, if you are, this is what I recommend for anybody. If you're doing jobs, have a camera on site and do a time lapse. So you can record the whole thing from the tear out to the install to the cleanup, and you can literally put it on like times 20. It'll be like a minute and a half video where you can walk your homeowners step by step on the process of how it's going to look like on the day it happens to them. We're going to tear it out. We're going to do this. You just bing, bing, you walking them through it.
That'd be a
In
huge
hyper,
thing to add to your demo. It's like like you said, I'm just imagining myself sitting down. I'm watching a time lapse video of like a kitchen that you did for somebody else, where it's like
yep.
they get to see the people come in, they clean up, they put the new kitchen in, and like actually imagining that happened to me. And you said keyword imagine, like you said, imagine over and over again. That would build a lot of
It's
trust. You're explaining
the
the
word,
process.
the word imagine is gonna be your best friend,
And if you don't
man.
have a time lapse video, I mean, you don't have to say it's your time lapse video, but you can
You
use it
can
as an
literally you
example for
can
like, yeah, this is what the process looks like,
you can
helping
YouTube a
them
time
understand it.
lapse video. You can YouTube one. You'll be fine. But I do recommend that when we start getting these jobs, have a camera set up. You can just leave it there all day for however long it takes. It could be 2 days, but however long the process is, we can speed it up in hyperspeed, and then it can help you show the homeowner. It builds a level of trust that guys you don't understand like the return on it. They can see exactly what you're saying come to life in video, and it's your work. So I recommend everybody doing that, right? So this is where we do all the demos, and then we want to transition. We want to transition to
Price
price,
rank,
right?
right?
Right. So when we transition to price, this is this is the thing you want to recap everything you just talked about. So the table recap is literally coming at sorry, Nick. So we just built a fantastic kitchen space. It is I'm still shocked that you told me that you weren't a designer, but you really did more of the work than I did. So thanks on that. So, when I got here, you told me you guys have been here for about 5 years and you never really liked the kitchen, but you bought the house in spite of, right? You told me also that you had your bathroom done and had some couple headaches, but you got it done. And we went through your kitchen. We saw everything. We did see that water leak that we definitely want to take care of for sure. We get all of that, and then we summarize. Right, we want to go through. This is where you go line by line, countertops, cabinets, everything. You go line by line, and you literally tell. I will tell you back, and make sure that I heard you. Make sure that you feel heard, and I didn't miss anything. Right. I do want to confirm those pain points. Right. We want to make this kitchen. We want to make it feel bigger. Right. You told me that it felt small, felt kind of cramped in. We want to make it feel open and bigger. We want to get those white countertops out of there. All of these things. Take care of the water leak. Right. So, and then at that point, that's when you get the tie down. Right. You want to summarize what you do for them. So we're going to come in. We're going to do this. We're going to tear this out. All of that is what you want to do. And then after this, after you recap all, you say, did I miss anything?
And I said, no, that's it.
Anything you want to change?
No, I like it.
Cool. Give me about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 12 if I take a little bit longer. And then I'll come in and we can talk price and we talk next steps. How's that sound?
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Are you good?
So this is where you go. Don't do price. Don't crunch your numbers in front of homeowners. You don't need that type of pressure. You don't need anybody standing over your shoulder, right? Go back to your truck, your car, whatever you're driving. Use handoff. Use a hotspot on your phone for the Wi-Fi. Use handoff AI. Put it in line by line.
Trust me. Like we have so many lessons on using AI for estimates. Like this was not a thing 3 years ago, but you need to use it now. And I'm not going to reiterate that whole lesson, but the days of spending 2 hours on the estimate, those are long gone. It should take you less than 5 minutes, right? So let's assume now we're using the AI. We're getting this done in like 2 minutes time. So we got our numbers accurate and we're confident behind the number.
Yeah. So you go to your car, you get your number, right? Got it. You come back in the house. You back at the table, living room, wherever y'all doing business. And then this is where you want to really, before you lay down the price, you want to have another really mini recap. You want to say, hey, we talked about this, we built this out, bang, 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 all the lines that you're going to do. And then you want to turn, if you're using a computer, turn a computer, iPad, whatever you're using. And for all of that today, Nick, that just brings your total investment to just $75,250. Now, I'm jumping in and out of role playing because I want to teach here. So please make a note of saying just. I just told this man on average it was 81,000. I'm at 75, which is lower, even though I got higher end stuff because whatever. I got good partnerships, right? Cool. If you just say, you see that, it just brings your total investment. This is not just a spend. This is into his equity for his home. It brings your total investment to just $75,250. All right. Mm-hmm. Or if you offer financing, if you don't, you should.
You should.
$75,250 or just $668 a month. Now, let me ask you something, Nick. Is this something that you would normally pay cash for, or is it something you typically finance?
Well, we like to buy whatever we can cash, but for larger investments, we sometimes finance it. So
okay, perfect. Hey, either way works for me. Now, you feel like this price is fair and worth every penny?
I mean, again, it was more than I was expecting it to be. I thought, like I said earlier, this was going to be, in the 30 to 40s, but now it's coming at a lot higher than that. So it's
Absolutely.
just a lot to
Now,
think about.
no, I got it. So, and again, now when somebody tells you it's a lot to think about, this is where you have to be real and transparent with them. You already told me that the price was a little bit more than what you wanted to pay, right? I know this. So when I am overcoming objections, I want to position myself as being on their side. I'm on your side, right? So my whole thing for you in those situations, okay, you know, now you told me the price was a little bit higher than you want to pay. The first question you should be saying, not even a question. Well, it is a question. You should be saying, hey, based on what we talked about today, you see how we got to this price,
Yeah, I see how you got to the number though.
right? So if you see it, the person tells you, you see how I got to the number. Great. Now, you told me that you had a problem with the price, but you didn't really bucket the price. At this point, I would say, hey, all I need is a driver's license. I can get you on the schedule. How's that sound? I'm this is here. I'm talking because I'm doing a thing, but right now I'm not talking in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I I just need to I just need to think about it. Like it's a lot of money. I didn't expect it to be that much, so now we just got to evaluate, look at the finances, see if this is something that we can do. But I like what
Okay.
your company. I really like the story. I really see how. Like I definitely feel like if we do this, then you're the company that we want to go with. But we just got to have a conversation now, about the numbers, and because now we have a price that we can look at it and try and make it work.
Sure, sure. Now, I definitely understand that. And again, I respect the fact that you want to take your time um, because it is such a, you know, it's a big project. So I definitely understand that. Now, I know in my experience in doing this, I've been doing this a long time. Usually, when people tell me that it's something they have to think about, it's usually because of the price or the payment. You already expressed some concerns about the price, so I do just want to ask: is it the price or the payment that had you having pause?
I think it's the price. I mean, I think the financing makes sense. It's just, it's more than we were expecting it to be. If there's maybe if there's any way we can work on that.
Well, yeah. So you mentioned the price, like it's too much. Like how much too much is it? And again, this is me talking to you like as a customer. This is time for you to be transparent with me. I mean, whatever you think, absurd or not, you know, how much too much is it?
Uh, I mean, if we can maybe get into, I mean, if we could maybe do it for like, 65 or
65. Okay, so timeout. Now I'm talking. 65 is $10,000 less than what I just gave the price to you at.
Mhm.
Granted, when I'm going to do my price, I'm going to do it at a 50% margin to start to give me room to wiggle down.
Yeah, you want to go high and then go down.
Yeah, you
You
can't
want
go
to,
back up,
right?
right? So if you told me 65 and I already know I put enough into it that I'm going to make my money at 65, then this is where you would transition from that, okay? So okay, perfect. So 65, we want to get down to 65. Put in my numbers. All right, 65 takes us down to about 575 a month. All right, so let me ask you, if I can get you down to 65, and I'm not saying I can, but if I can get you down to 65, we're doing business today, right?
Okay. I guess, if we can do that, then we can get started.
Perfect. Handshake. All I need is your ID. We can get you on the schedule. The reason I need his ID is because he just told me that he is going to be financing. So then you transition to this if you really want to ask the finance questions, right? You said this is something that you normally want to finance. So I'll ask you a simple question. Hey, we have a lot of great lenders that we partner with. Now, just asking, credit start with a 5, 6, 7, or 8. I'm just trying to figure it out because it's me and you versus the bank.
Starts with a 7.
Cool. Starts with a 7. Great. Boom. Get the ID. put it in whatever you're using. If you're using Hearth, whatever you're using for financing, do that. And then you transition, right? Now, this is how you should be doing it. And
I
if
mean, like we're
you
kind of coming towards the end of it, but that's basically A to Z what you need to be doing. And I think it gives a lot of guys something to think about.
absolutely, absolutely. Now, I mean, again, this is being recorded. I would love for everybody to take a look at this. You have to be able to position yourself as the expert. If you take nothing away from this, take away from this as you the expert doesn't mean you wielding a sword and everything. You have to be friendly. You have to price condition. We have to price condition. If we don't, we're gonna lose.
Yeah,
And
price
you have
conditioning I think is a huge takeaway for most of the guys here, and then also offering financing, and then also like getting the deal signed in the home. We didn't mention that explicitly, but it was kind of obvious the way when we were going through it. But you're giving
yeah,
numbers inside the home, and you're asking for a deposit and a signature right then and there.
absolutely. We're not leaving without anything. Like it's not a deal unless you get money. And we want to take advantage of the AI tools that we have before us so we can close deals today.
Mhm.
Right? We can be able, you can go to your truck and put this together in literally 5 minutes. And you can go back in the house and do this confidently. The
Yeah.
main thing is about confidence, though. If you don't believe it, the homeowner won't either.
Yeah, you didn't laugh or you didn't say anything after dropping the 75. You just laid that number down and you just waited for them to say something.
You have to make, yes, and you have to make a big number feel small. If you look at the number, your eyes get big. You think their eyes won't get big? Like, oh, it's 75. If the number is 75 in the car, get your eyes big in the car and then talk yourself into it. It's a great deal.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, they won't.
Well, hope that was valuable. I mean, we'll be back next week. Probably going to be interviewing some guys that are using that exact system, talking about some of the deals that they're
Yes.
closing. We
Yes.
got we got a couple of guys that we've been talking, inside of the program that they've been doing that and it's been working. So
They've been
really
they've been
excited.
they've been killing, man. So get them on next week. This will be real good. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna send this out to everybody, right? And get Asmir on it to make it real sweet.
That's why. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Be good.